Hello, I'm Josh George, doing my ACC college football preseason prediction video. We're going to start in the Coastal Division here with the Duke Blue Devils. Cutcliffe has his work cut out for him. His overall record is 118 and 117, but he has a losing record at Duke. He could find himself on the hot seat at the end of this season, as his team was 98th in total defense, and on average they haven't been so good. Very average in the return game and things like that. He's been changing out players who's returning the football and things like that. They were 2-9 last season, and he has co-offensive and co-defensive coordinators this year. So 3-9, 0-8 in conference play. It's going to be a tough season for the Blue Devils, I'm thinking. Georgia Tech, Jeff Collins has a quarterback in Jeff Sims that seems to fit his system, who's a solid redshirt freshman. Though they were 78th on total offense, that number looks to improve as they get a full offseason under their belt, and Collins' system seems to take shape as he continues to retool the O-line and things like that. This offense could really start to take shape. His recruiting classes could really improve. They are in the heart of Atlanta. He keeps saying that they're moving forward, and in the wins column, we will see. Right now, I have them at 3-9, 1-7 in conference play, but they could surprise me. They could get into a bowl game. They could definitely have some bright moments. To Virginia, Cavaliers were 123rd in passing defense, but had an injured secondary or COVID secondary throughout the season. It really, really hurt Virginia. Tell you the truth, they've just kind of been up and down. They seem to be on a downward trend, especially on defense. So I think if their offense hits a groove, which I think it might, I've got them at 6-6 and 3-5. Now to Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett has been playing quarterback there forever, it seems like. He's a senior. It will be his last year at Pittsburgh. And surprisingly, he's not showing up on a lot of NFL draft boards and things. But he's a talented, experienced quarterback. Pat Narduzzi is a good special teams coach and a good defensive guy. They were number 3 overall in special teams, and Kendall Likern, the AD, has talked about the need for Narduzzi to improve on offense. And when your AD is getting involved, making comments like this, shows the seriousness of the situation there. They're also talking about going independent, as Notre Dame left the ACC to go independent this year. They haven't been. They were independent from 1890 to 1990. So might be interesting. The last time they won a conference title was 2010, and they were 8-5. A team that seems to be consistently be 8-5. I've got them at 7-5 this year, and 3-5 in conference play. Now Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's an interesting team with a coach that could be on the hot seat in Justin Fuente. He's ranked as the 10th coach in the ACC, according to various sources, including Phil Steele. He's going to have a good quarterback this year. They just don't know who it is, whether it's Bateman, Blumlike, or Blaylock, one of the Bs. He'll have a decent quarterback. Now, he has 5 offensive linemen back, including the top offensive line transfer this year. So this line could be the best offensive line in the ACC, maybe even the country, certainly in the division, though. And they have 5 scholarship running backs, so that's huge. They're going to have a really good run game. The only question is, can they be consistent? Are they going to be switching out quarterbacks, things like that? Right now, I've got them 7-5 and 5-3 in conference play. Now to Miami. Miami plays Alabama. They're going to lose that one. Sorry, Miami. But they might have the best hookup in all of football in Rambo and Derek King. Good receiver-quarterback combination gives King the deep ball that he needed. And to tell you the whole truth, this team, I mean, they were 29th in passing offense last year, so that's definitely going to improve. But their turnover margin, that's what's got to improve. The turnover chain, they were only 36th in turnover margin last season in the country at +4. And they got blown out by North Carolina. A team that I think improves all around, but we'll learn immediately when they're playing Alabama how talented and how serious of a contender this team's going to be. Right now, we got them at 9-3 and 6-2 in conference play. Now the Tar Heels. The Tar Heels under Mack Brown have been really impressive. They've lost 8 games by 7 points or less, including a game to Florida State and Virginia by only 3 points. So if they can get it all together this year, they've got the right quarterback to do that in Sam Howell. A lot of people have them in their Heisman race, and a top 50 defense right now, and they returned 7 on defense and 8 on O. Very experienced team, seemingly. If they can win the close games and pull it all together, I think they will. They could be a playoff contender, certainly in that talk as a dark horse. I've got them at 11-1 and 8-0 in conference play. To the Atlantic Division, Syracuse. Syracuse is one of the more experienced teams in college football. Certainly one of the more experienced defenses, and with 10 guys coming back. Now, Dino Babers is definitely on the hot seat. After beating Clemson in 2017 and having a 10-win season in 2018, they were just 1-10 last season. And I don't know if it's a passion thing, or if it's a mindset thing, or if it's a COVID thing. They've just got to find a way to figure it out, and I think Babers might be the link that changes things. I've got it at 3-9 and 1-7 in conference play. Now, to Louisville. Louisville's a decent team. Louisville's a team that I've got at that they were 4-7 last year, but they're 9th in the 2-4-7 talent composite and very low in the rivals 2-4 talent composite. Malik Cunningham looked like he could be the quarterback, but really they're topsy-turvy, and they play a very challenging schedule with 2 SEC schools on the schedule and a tough Group of 5 team. I've got a 3-9 and 2-6 in conference play. Now to Boston College. Phil Zvokowski, solid quarterback, 6'5", and a lot of people are touting Boston College's O-line U, and they have 4 guys going back, and they in their first 4 games, every 4th and 1 or closer they made. So, best 4th down team in the ACC. They had the lead against Clemson in most of that game and only lost to Notre Dame by 13. They could be a team to watch to pull a major upset this year, but their defense could be trending down, and that's why I've got them at 7-5 and 3-5 in conference play. Now, Florida State. They're not your grandfather's Florida State or the Florida State we saw even a decade ago. They were 107th in total defense, and their O-line consists of freshmen and sophomores, an O-line that has been the worst O-line in Power 5 football in the last 5 years, period. Now, Norvell, he had the 4th ranked recruiting class in the ACC. Not really up to par for a team that used to be competing for this conference every single year in and year out. Now, Mckenzie Melton is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Will be fresh off an injury. May not get the protection he needs, though. He may scramble more. I have no idea what to expect from him, especially if he gets a few hits from his offensive line. But he's a good quarterback, maybe the most accurate quarterback in college football right now. But I've got them at 6-6 and 4-4 in conference play. Now to Wake Forest. Lyle Lampel might be the best defensive coordinator in the ACC. He's not working with a ton of talent, but yet they were 8th in the nation in turnovers on defense. And they're a bend but don't break, find a way to get the stop team. They were 25th in passing efficiency, so decent there. They could really peak this year. I think they will. I've got them at 8-4 and 5-3 in conference play. Now to NC State. Everyone is high on NC State, And I think Dave Dorn is that reason. And their offensive line, that's the thing about the ACC. They've got good offensive line. They had top offensive line transfers come in, retooled, looking good. They're rated second in the conference in a lot of preseason polls. And I've got them at 9-3 and 5-3 in conference play. Clemson. Everyone wants to talk about Clemson. First thing I'm going to point out about Clemson is that they were 75th in rushing offense last year, and I think that's going to improve this season with Will Shipley and Lynn J.D. Dixon at running back, and their offensive line is definitely going to improve. Tony Elliott has figured it out. He's working with guys down there. Got it. They're 15th in defense. Defense isn't going anywhere. They've got 10 starters back. They might be the best defense overall this year under Brett Venables. This is probably one of the best defenses he's ever had there. They're going to be scary. Their biggest scare is going to be against Georgia, and I think that they're going to lose that game. I've got them at 11-1 and 8-0. And I'll break that Bulldog game down a little bit more in my Week 1 video. Conference winner, I've got Clemson over North Carolina. I'm going to pick Clemson doing the ACC in the preseason until they don't do it. I'm Josh George.